to Money in the Bank quickly. You said that you were set to produce some stuff. What did you work on at the event?
I had my hands on Bobby Lashley and Truth.
All right.
I loved the segment. When Truth did his, I didn't see the segment back, and I remember, helping to produce that. We had so many things ready to go, and Truth, when he came out and did his entrance, he dropped the mic. Like he put the mic down like he normally would.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he didn't realize that he needed it again because he had to go back and forth with MVP. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, my God, he doesn't have a mic. We can barely hear him. But they actually, in the truck, they were able to turn it up and things like that. But Truth was so flustered because he was trying to get words out and he didn't know if he could be heard or not. He kind of rushed some things. And it all came off great from what they told me. They said it was great because I never saw it back. They said it looked great, but I was like, oh, man, it could have been so much better. But, again, they did. But the match itself I thought was really good. It showed Bobby being a killer. It showed him, being Bobby Lashley, a badass. And it also gave the entertainment side of Truth, which, in my opinion, I love to death. Him and I get along great. A lot of Truth stuff I work with him on, and we joke around like, it's crazy. If the cameras were rolling around me and Truth every time we said something or did something, it would be incredible because we would have our own reality show. That's how funny we are together. And a lot of times we'll start talking about things with the 24/7 title and things like that, and we'll start putting things together. And then I'll just say stupid stuff, and Truth will be like, I love it. I want to use it. And I say, yeah, go ahead, man. Let's do it. Let's add it in. That's one of the advantages of I love being a producer because, there was so many things that I wanted to do as talent and I wasn't able to do because whether it didn't fit the WWE's persona or what have you. But, now as a producer, when you have someone like Truth who is who's extremely entertaining, and whatever craziness ideas that we've had over the years, now we can use it together and bring it forth, whether it be the 24 title or even be with Bobby Lashley. We can get it out there, and it's funny and it's hilarious. The fans ate it up, the match. So apparently we got the point across, even though the mic was not in Truth's hand.
It worked. I mean, I was watching it upon the live viewing, and you could hear him just fine. They had to boost it a little bit, but I liked it. It seemed real because he didn't have a microphone there, and it just seemed like MVP was that much more frustrated trying to get the point across, and it worked. It really did.
Yeah, it did, and we had some funny moments, verbiage wise, and like I said, it really came off really good. I'm just, and I've told Lindsey this before, even though that I am a little frustrated, I was a little frustrated of not continuing to wrestle for that one more year that I wanted. Mm-hmm. I'm extremely happy now being a producer and not wrestling. I've officially announced that I've hung it up and I'm done. Except for, different appearances that they may want me to do on the show, but no more wrestling, no more fighting for the titles, none of that anymore. I'm done. I'm officially done.
Boo!
And, yeah.
Come on, Lindsey, help me out. Throw trash at him. Throw something at him.
I will. I'll throw my empty wine glass at him.
Yeah.
I know. I know, but I'm done, guys. I've had my 15 minutes of fame, and it was a good ride. It really was. The old timers used to tell me, "Don't blink," because when you do, it's over, and it goes that fast. And it did. It did feel like it went really, really fast. But a 28-year career, always being on top, and never taking a break, regardless of the injuries or anything like that. We did it, and I think Bubba said it best during our Hall of Fame speech. We did it our way. We went out there and we conquered. We became synonymous in terms of using the name. When tag team wrestling comes up, we will always be put in with some of the best. And arguably, some people will say we were the best. But I'm just happy that when you do mention tag teams, the Dudley Boys' names come up. And not too many people can say that that could happen in their career. But two guys, one from Long Island, New York, the other one straight out of Brooklyn, and from the projects, got together as a tag team, one white, one black, which wasn't unheard of back then, to make it successful. Our characters, the Dudley Boys, came from the movie, and I think I told you this, Mo, Slapshot, with Paul Newman. We were the Handsome Brothers. The Handsome Brothers were two guys in that movie with Paul Newman. They were nerds, but when they got on the ice and they played in hockey, they were ass kickers. And that's what the persona of the Dudleys were. And we were made into as a joke when we first came to ECW. And Bubba and I basically got together, feuded with each other, and separated for a little bit. And then the idea was like, let's put the Dudleys together. Let's see what they can do together. And history was made. So I'm happy that a tag team that was originally supposed to be a joke and really wasn't supposed to last became arguably the greatest tag team in the history of this business, and also put into the WWE Hall of Fame. So with that, I always said that was chapter 1. Now chapter 2 begins. And if you thought chapter 1 was great, wait till you see chapter 2.
So you used to obviously work with Terry Funk, on and off in your career. So when should we expect you back in the ring?
Listen, if that happens, please shoot me. Listen, Lindsay talks about she wants to come down to the school and take a bump, and that's great, Lindsay. All kudos to you. You come down, and it's good. But I'm going to tell you right now, I got in the ring at the school right before we shut everything down, and I took one bump in the ring and rolled out. And one of the head guys said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yep, I don't need to do this no more."
And that was it.
I was like, "No, don't need to do this no more. I'm good. Excuse me, I'm going to go in my office."
On behalf, go ahead, please.
No, I look at some of these guys now in the ring, and I go, "Good God, thank God I'm retired."
There are a lot of athletes out there, but no, sincerely, thank you as a fan for everything, all the entertainment that you've done. Obviously, it's easy for me to say on a personal level, but just as a fan in general, the amount of damage and just the hardships that you put yourself through being on the road away from family and whatnot for as long as you did, just to entertain us is very commendable, respectful. So sincerely, thank you for everything that you've done and continue to do in the next chapter.
Well, thank you for those kind words. And, my next chapter is with you and Lindsay, is with other, business adventures, with, Steve Wolf, who is, personal friends of me and Lindsay. And I credit a lot of my extra stuff to Steve Wolf for what he's done and has helped me. And I'm extremely grateful to help me get that second part of my career, aboard, meeting Lindsay, being able to go to Comic-Cons and things like that, meeting Rachel, who introduced me to Mo. It's like the second chapter of my career is basically, is moving on, and it's great. And for me to be excited about it, and new adventures and things like that, and sure, I'm going to stumble, and sure, I'm going to fail, or here and there temporarily. But the biggest thing is, like Rocky said in his last one, he says, not how many times you fall, but it's how many times you fall and you get back up. And that's the thing. I know I'm going to fall, but I will get back up, and I'll continue to get back up until my maker takes me. And until then, I'm going to keep going to make sure that every single chapter that I put in my book is a successful one. There's going to be heartaches. There's going to be, triumphs, trials, and tribulations. But there's also going to be sunshine. There's also going to be glory. And I feel that every single time I do something. Of course, I hate when the stumbling comes. You got to get yourself back up, but it always feels good that when you do get back up and you're successful again, that's the greatest feeling in the world. You know, people got to fall. You can't have people just hand you things, make things work for you. You got to go out and do it yourself, because in order for you to appreciate the good times, you got to go through the bad times. No one said this thing called life was going to be easy, but it was every step you take. You know, instead of moving backwards, always try to move forward. Even if you stumble and take a step back, for every step back, take 2 or 3 steps forward.